Mine's bigger and has more rounds.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Generic controlling the Duck Goose. We're here back with another kill count reaction. Today we're doing A Bucket of Blood from 1959. This movie is older than my parents. It's a short one. It doesn't have a ton of views, so I imagine this video is not going to have a ton of views, but I figured I got to be cultured. I can't really skip any of these movies, even if I've never heard of them. It's probably a classic or else James wouldn't have picked it. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright. This doesn't look like it's from 1959.
Real dead meat.
Do they have like an actual intro now?
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastard that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our
outfit?
favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and I'm sad to say that on January 30th, 2019, we lost the truly amazing character actor, Dick Miller. Miller appeared in over 100 movies, perhaps most famously in Gremlins and its sequel. And he also happens to be a very special part of Dead Meat, since it's his line in Chopping Mall that ends the extended version of my intro that Chelsea edited.
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. But if I ever find a little bastard that did this, they're dead meat.
Miller had a long career and a long life, living to the age of 90 with his wife for more than 50 years, Lainey. He appeared in practically all of Joe Dante's films and many movies by Roger Corman, including the subject of today's kill count, A Bucket of Blood, released in 1959. A Bucket of Blood is a fun little horror comedy that sees a spry young 30-year-old Dick Miller in a starring role as lowly Walter Paisley, a name that would be reused for at least half a dozen other Dick Miller characters throughout his career. Written by Charles B. Griffith, who would go on to write another Corman-directed horror comedy, the much more famous Little Shop of Horrors, A Bucket of Blood is a satirical take on the beatnik subculture and came out right before beatniks passed their counterculture crown to the hippies of the 60s. In this film, Miller's Walter Paisley is a wannabe artist who would absolutely kill to have the respect of all the OG hipsters that surround him. And exactly how many kills does it take to get a little respect? Let's find out and get to them. The movie begins in the Yellow Door, a coffee shop slash art exhibit slash place with open mic Fridays. A bearded beatnik named Maxwell Brock tries to be heard over his saxophone player as he drones on and on about art, man.
Where are Leonardo, Rembrandt, Ludwig? Alive, alive, alive.
The busboy at this joint, Walter Paisley, is so entranced by the words he hears, he can't help but make eyes at the poet. Walter wants very badly to be an artist, but the owner of this place, his boss Leonard, thinks he's nothing more than a disc jockey, and he doesn't get much respect from his
I was asked if I wanted to work today as well.
Well, there's a clear mind. One day something will enter it, feel lonely, and leave again.
Nah.
I mean, I guess the guy is kind of weird and inept. He stares
literally
at random
work
couples
more than
making
any
out
manager
on the
or
street and can't even properly
employee.
kick a can down the road. No one saw that. No one saw that. At home, after fixing himself dinner in a dusty saucepan,
I get 2 days
he
off.
tries his hand at his absolute favorite art form, claymation.
Be a nose. Be a nose.
Oh man, this doesn't look like Prometheus or Bob. His sculptor's
That's the next kill count, I think, is
Prometheus. When he hears
Prometheus.
a cat in the
Movie
wall
I've never
that won't
seen.
stop meowing at him. The cat belongs to his landlady, who had been asking after her pet earlier, and Walter takes an interesting approach to getting it out of the wall.
Art.
Yeah, what were you trying to do there, Walt? Stab a pilot hole? He tears away his cheap-ass wall to find a very fake-looking dead cat back
probably
there.
asbestos
Or maybe
in
his
that.
true art form is taxidermy, and that's where he keeps his
Nope,
work.
Chuck
In any
Testa.
case, it's kind of hilarious that Walter just literally did the opposite of what heroes do early on in a movie to win over the audience. He is sad about it at first, but the next morning, he feels some inspiration, and inspiration feels like clay. He heads to the Yellow Door and shows his skeptical boss Leonard and the much more encouraging Carla a thing he made.
It's a thing I made.
The thing he made is a cat covered in clay.
What's it called? Dead cat? Dead cat?
Nice.
That's its name? Sure.
And Dead Cat is immediately praised by
Did he just
Carla
cover
as a shining example
the corpse
of
in
realism.
clay?
Leonard even agrees to put it in the corner of the Yellow Door that night, saying he'll split the profits with Walter if it sells. The cat's a bona fide hit with the artists there, including Maxwell Brock, that lead beat and apparent template for Season 3 Paul Kinsey. Brock toasts to Walter and makes a big to-do about his clay-cast kitty cat, and the ruckus it causes makes Walter so popular that he's unable to fulfill his busboy duties. So Leonard sends him home and tells him to work on another art project.
Make another cat.
Well, I haven't got another cat.
Before Walter can make it out the door, he's
that's
swarmed by
the
Naolia, another beatnik, who just straight
Naolia?
up tells Walter she wants to bone him and his big old sculptor's brain. Walter's not interested, so instead she gives him some off-screen drugs as a plot contrivance.
Killing a cat
since
gets
the
you
handoff
laid?
is witnessed by this undercover cop. Yeah, there's an undercover cop in this movie. Two of them, in fact. But the other one's outfit consists of a cowboy hat and a bathrobe. That's not a disguise, dude. That's a fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse character. Walter leaves and is followed by the cop, not Cowboy Curtis, the one that looks like a mix of Adam Scott and
what is
John
suspicious
Mulaney,
about
all the
any
way
of
to
this?
his front door. He thinks Walter
has
is
a
involved in
frying
the
pan.
heroin trade, even though this dude clearly doesn't have the wits to even trade Pokemon cards.
Well, wasn't that nice of Naolia to give me that expensive horse?
The cop, Detective Lou, tries to arrest Walter and take him downtown,
For
even
what?
pulling his gun on him when Walter refuses to go. But that only manages to freak
Mine's
Walter
bigger
out
and
even
has
more, and he winds
more
up cracking
rounds.
Lou over the head with that pizza pan, giving us our
Oh, that
first
was a
human
frying
kill
pan.
of the movie. Yes, it's off screen. Don't get your hopes up for these kills, people.
That's
This was
not a-
pre-Psycho. Walter's landlady, Mrs.
That's
Swicket,
not a-
hears the racket and comes into his apartment, but he gets her back out of there before she can notice Lou's dead arm falling from the ceiling.
How did you
that
put him
arm's
up there
gonna
that
leak,
fast?
Walter. You'd better. Oh, hey, you got it. And they call you stupid. Is that our titular bucket of blood? Because it looks more like a cooking pot of blood to me. Walter's sorrow for killing Lou is short-lived, as he quickly gets the idea to pull a cat trick with the body. Risky move with a dead cop, Walter. The force is already scrambled and looking for him, as we see
What?
in this very stock-looking footage. Plus, at the yellow door, Leonard, by way of clumsiness, discovers that underneath the art piece
Was an
dead
actual
cat is
cat.
an actual dead cat.
Little fraud.
The next night, cops show up and scare the serving tray out of Walter's hand as a kick-ass
What
guitarist
is that
performs
hat?
a song that's
Was that
very
like a
on
Civil
theme for this
War
movie.
hat?
Saying, go down, you murderer, go down.
Leonard tries to tease Walter into admitting he's a fraud, but Walter insists that he has a new piece finished.
Crazy. What is it called?
Dead cop.
Murdered man.
I think Leonard just shit his pants. Leonard goes to call the police, but this dude from Tammany Hall stops him and insists on buying Walter's dead cat, offering $500 for it, which would be about $4,300 in today's dollars. That's enough to make you complicit. Walter
Okay.
takes Carla and Leonard to his apartment and unveils his latest work. And Murdered Man is fucking hideous, dude. Why does he look like a Shawshank inmate? Carla
Why
and
are
Leonard
his
are
eyes
both
open?
taken aback by the ghastly visage of the pseudo-sculpture.
I've never seen anything like it before,
It's probably pretty heavy.
and I hope I never see anything like it again.
But while
Oh.
Carla thinks it's a work of genius, all Leonard can do
Genius.
is stage act over to a chair and collapse in it. Leonard doesn't want this skeevy little murderer around his coffee shop, so he gives him $50 from the dead cat sale and tells him not to come into work
Wait,
anymore.
well, I thought they were supposed to,
Walter's
like, split it.
absolutely
I
thrilled
mean,
about that, since it makes him a professional artist. Why, he's so
Technically,
happy,
yes.
he turns into Anakin Skywalker for a second. Oh yeah, do
Oh, I
a
thought it was
jump
gonna be
there,
like
Walter.
Anakin
That's a
Skywalker
good
and
trick. The next day,
lightsaber
our
a bunch of
Pinocchio Picasso
young Jedi.
shows up at the yellow door anyway.
That was Anakin,
looking like
right?
Jack Nicholson's
Anakin
Joker
was the one that did
about to
that,
go on a
right? I
museum
know the meme.
bender. He makes easy friends with Maxwell and the stoner dudes Oscar and Will, but his latest artistic achievements failed to impress this lady nicknamed Alice the Awful, who's skeptical of his skills.
Prove it. Make something out of this.
There. Hand.
Walter storms off and later that night follows Alice home to her door, where he tells her that he'll pay her modeling fee of $25 an hour, that'd be a bit over $200 an hour today,
Wow.
if she poses for his next piece. She unwisely
This is
agrees to
2019,
do
so
it
it's
right
gotta be
away,
more.
so she goes with Walter back to his place and gives the audience a gratuitous bra shot. Whoa, Carmen, you dog. Ah, shit, and an exposed back too? And I thought the era of
lot
free
of
love
play.
wasn't until the 60s. Walter earns himself another victim when he ties a handkerchief around Alice's neck and chokes her to death, again, mostly off screen. But at least this kill has dramatic blaring horns accompanying it.
It was a different time.
The next
People were a
morning,
lot.
Walter shows up at, what is this place, a commune?
more
In a
sensitive?
scene where I
Less
learned that the
sensitive?
hipsters eat funny food joke has
Prude?
been going
I
strong
don't-
for 70
what?
years now.
What are you having?
Soy and wheat germ pancakes, organic guava nectar, calcium lactate and tomato juice, and garbanzo omelets sprinkled with smoked yeast. Join us?
No thanks.
Good.
Also, I think that's what I had for brunch last weekend. He shows all the artists his latest work, and they're deeply moved by its, I don't know by what, really. Nothing sucks.
Oh.
But Maxwell promises Walter a party, and Carla even gives him a smooch. Oh, fuck, that was definitely a mistake, girl. At the party,
You're
Walter
next.
gets sloshed on champagne, and Maxwell delivers a poem in his honor. Christ, this looks like an obnoxious place to be. I mean, for real, this poem goes on forever. At least that guy dressed comfy for it. Walter promises
the
his
undercover
peers
cop.
that he's gonna go on making statues forever, but on his drunken
Well, are
stagger
you?
home, he realizes that his creative queue
He's
is
gonna become a
already empty,
statue.
and that gets him concerned.
I gotta do something before they forget. I know what it's like to be ignored.
He comes across a random furniture maker, and after rambling some poetry in his face, takes
Dead
the dude's
carpenter.
head and introduces it to his buzzsaw. Now who is the master and who is the tool, furniture man? Walter shows up
that
at the
a
yellow
buzzsaw?
door bright and early the next day. In fact, the morning newspaper hasn't even been delivered yet.
Read about the man who got cut in half.
He presents his new art piece to Leonard, hoping it'll be a hit, but instead
Decapitated
it's a
head.
bust, because Leonard knows the truth behind Walter's artistry. Leonard's solution to this problem is to throw Walter an art exhibit? I'm not sure I
that makes
understand
sense.
the rationale
Hoping that
here,
somebody
but
else would
okay.
realize
On the
it.
walk to the
He'd
exhibit,
be a
Walter
cop?
tells Carla he likes her. Aw, Walter, that's cute.
tall
You
is
know,
she?
as long as you don't try to rush it or anything.
I want to get married. To you.
I didn't realize he was in the military.
Carla tries to carefully tell Walter that she doesn't feel the same way about him.
Anything
but
but
Walter,
that.
of course, doesn't take it very well. And after a brief little temper tantrum, he asks Carla if she'll let him make a statue out of her, which she agrees to. The art exhibit has all of Walter's works on display, although not in chronological order, which kind of irks me. And it looks like all the fat cats and art reviewers are eating it right up.
I'd give $1,500 for this.
After you read my review, it'll probably cost you $5,000.
But after a little bit of schmoozing,
okay.
Carla realizes the awful truth behind Walter's sculpture, and she tries to get the hell out of there, only to get stopped by our murderous Michelangelo. After he tells Carla that he
You're
wants
next.
to make her immortal, she pushes past him and starts to run home. He chases after her, leaving everyone else at the art exhibit, where eventually his secret is broken wide open. A chase scene ensues that involves
corpses.
pretty much all of this movie's wacky side characters. But Walter slows
What?
down in
It's
his
one
pursuit
person.
when
None
he
of y'all
starts hearing
faster
the
than
voices
him?
of Detective Lou and Awful Alice in his head.
No. They couldn't know. They're dead.
Aw, poor decapitated furniture maker guy. He doesn't get a disembodied
Wouldn't it be a
voice, even though
wouldn't it be a
Walter's at
carpenter?
the place in which he was killed. Walter runs his
What-
fraudulent
what
ass
do you call
all
a
the way
furniture
home,
maker?
where the voices of
Which
his
is, I guess, just a
victims
furniture
continue
maker.
to taunt him. Knowing the jig is up, he decides to hide where they'll never find him.
In his art.
Clay? Or in art, I
How do you
guess, which
even
he
clay
understands
yourself?
To be death. So when
That's
the
not enough
ensemble
clay to
cast
do that.
breaks into Walter's apartment, they find him hanging dead from the ceiling.
Covered in
Why
clay?
is it in selfie mode? There we go, yeah. Why didn't that
Oh.
aspect ratio? The
Why?
end. How many bodies does it take to make a work of art? Let's find out if the numbers are cool.
Why does he have bongos? Those are bongos, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Only 4 people died in a bucket of blood, with 3 of them dudes and 1 of them a lady. That comes out to a real simple pie chart.
Yeah,
there, and
that's
with a
quick
runtime
maths.
of only 65 minutes, we had
Oh,
a kill
short
on
movie.
average every 16.
I wonder what the budget was.
5 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to the furniture dude. Nothing was really on screen, so I'll go with the coolest implied kill. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Alice, because I don't like how gratuitous those bare shoulders were. Have we no decency left in this world? And that's it.
It can't
A
be
Bucket
shown
of
in
Blood came out
several
in
countries.
1959
The
and
clay
starred
blocks.
Dick Miller, an amazing character actor who brought a lot of joy
Rest
to
in
a
peace.
lot of people. Thanks for all the memorable roles, Dick. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this extra
you
Kill
know, I'm
Count.
glad I
Thanks
watched
some
this.
patrons like Corey
This is a
Mason,
good video.
Jordan
Shout out to my
Horn, Louis
patrons. Couldn't do this
Sanderson,
without
and
them.
Quinn Statons. Like I said, Dick Miller has been in a ton of movies, and I have not seen most of them. What's your favorite Dick
probably
Miller
haven't seen
movie?
any of
Post it
them.
in the comments so I can check out those movies. I just love how reliably funny that guy was. Rest in peace, Dick. Thanks, everyone. Be good people.
Dude. If your name is Dick, you're gonna be funny by default. Like, you are literally born to be funny. It's just how it is. Next one's gonna be Prometheus. Isn't it the Prometheus school of running away from things? Isn't that like an actual like meme or whatever? I'm really excited to get to the Leprechaun Returns, Alien Covenant. We have some heavy hitters. And then Boy Meets World, and then there was Sean. What? Demonic Toy? There's so many of these I've never heard of or seen. It's going to be quite interesting, though. This was A Bucket of Blood, an old movie, which it's kind of cool that he did this as, I guess, kind of as a tribute to Dick Miller. Dick. I'm glad I watched it. It was a short little one. It should be coming out on Tuesday, which should be the normal schedule. Patrons get the videos a day early. It should hopefully be a Doug video tomorrow. Like I said, I worked, actually out of the last 9 weeks, I have worked at my real job all but 14 days. Out of 9 weeks, I've had 14 days off. And then today, starting week 10, they asked me to go work again. And I was like, no. I have plans made, and I gotta do YouTube, because I've been neglecting that. So, sorry. My reward for working 30 out of 32 days, by the way, was having to work 5 days a week instead of 4. Ever since I started working there back in April, it was always 4 days a week. And until somebody, you know, quit and I had to work 7 days a week, then that was fine. Well, I don't necessarily have to. I chose, not really choose. I was just like being nice and helping everyone out by working 7 days a week for the benefit of everybody. My reward for helping everybody out was, hey, instead of working 4 days like you've always worked, now you're working 5 days. It's great. Nobody else works that much. So, really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully, the Prometheus kill count will be out next week. I hope to see you there. I read all your comments. Leave them down below. But until next video, take care and keep the music.
We were playing as soldiers, making swords.